Okay, guys, we want to discuss a little bit about cybersecurity. These days, cybersecurity engineers, cybersecurity professionals get the paycheck in the industry, and quite a number of people want to get into the field of cybersecurity. But I have a short slide that I want to just use to do a demo, and we'll be discussing what exactly is cybersecurity. Look at the different blocks or categories of cybersecurity. So let's dive in. Well, what exactly is cybersecurity? Cybersecurity is the practice of defending computer networks or computers, websites, servers, mobile devices, electronic systems, networks, and data from malicious attack or attacks. That exactly is the definition of cybersecurity. So by this definition, it simply means that this term cybersecurity is quite broad. So it's also known as information technology security or electronic information system security. So whichever term you use is going to heavily depend on the context. Okay, so this cybersecurity is actually divided into a few common categories. And I would like us to go through each of these categories one after the other. The first on the list is network security. So you are going to actually see that there is a difference between network security and cyber security. Network security actually is the practice of securing a computer network from intruders, whether it's from a targeted attackers or opportunistic malware. So a network security engineer is going to find himself installing devices like security devices for a firm, security devices like firewall appliances, security devices like intrusion prevention systems, VPN concentrators, etc., etc. Okay, these are the kind of work that a network security engineer is expected to be able to do for an enterprise. Now, the next is application security, which focuses on keeping softwares and devices free of threats. Okay, so most of us today use quite a number of softwares or applications on our mobile devices. So we can go to Play Store and download a couple of softwares or applications we use for certain things like our banking softwares. And some of us that use iPad can go to Apple Store to download also a couple of softwares or applications. We want to know that if this application is vulnerable, it's going to make it very, very complicated for us on the data that those applications is meant to or designed to protect. So for instance, if your banking application is vulnerable, then it's going to open up the entire process or the entire banking process passing through that application, going to make them open to attackers. Okay, so a compromised application could provide access to the data it's designed to protect. So the successful security of an application begins in the design stage of such application. So we've taken a look at the first two categories of cybersecurity, which is network security and application security. Number 3 on the list is information security, that has to do with protecting the integrity and privacy of data both in storage and in transit. Okay, the integrity of data has to be protected. So it simply means that, for instance, if you are sending me a mail and actually the content of the mail has to do with the account details of the sender, whereby I'm expected to pay in money into the account, if such account details is intercepted by an attacker and manipulated, whereby the attacker replaces the original account information with his own, then the mail will actually get to me and I'll end up paying into a wrong account. And in essence, we are saying that data or that information sent to me has lost its integrity. Why? Because an unauthorized person has been able to modify it. That is what information security has to do with. The next is operational security, which includes the processes and decisions for handling and protecting data assets. The permissions users are given when they are accessing a network resource, and the procedures that determine how and where data may be stored or shared. All of these fall under operational security. The fifth on the list is disaster recovery and business continuity. Disaster recovery policies dictate how the organization restores its operations and information systems to the same operating capacity as before the disaster struck. Okay, while business continuity, on the other hand, is the plan the organization falls back on while trying to operate without certain resources. Okay, so disaster recovery is different from business continuity, but both of them work hand in hand. And the last on the list is end user education, which is also referred to as security awareness training. This one is meant for the entire staff, the workforce of any organization. The end user education addresses the most unpredictable cybersecurity factor, which is the human beings. So when we talk about the human beings, the people, the staffs of every company, so the weakest link in any security chain is the human being, the people using the technology. So anyone can accidentally introduce a virus to an otherwise secure system by failing to follow good security practices. And in order to avoid this, we have to make it a duty to train the staff, the members of the workforce, teaching users how to delete suspicious email attachments, teaching users not to plug in unidentified USB drives on their systems or devices on the network, and various other important lessons that are vital for the security of any organization. So we can quite see that cybersecurity is very, very broad. And we just cover the 6 categories, common categories of this term, cybersecurity. Well, why would you want to become a cybersecurity specialist or a cybersecurity professional? It's because you want to be able to defend information security systems from attacks. Yes, we have various types of attacks that information and IT assets are subjected to on the internet. These attacks are numerous, but we just want to take a look at the 10 most common types of these attacks. So the 10 most common types of attacks, number 1 on the list is denial of service attack, also known as DOS. The denial of service attack overwhelms a system's resources so that it cannot respond to service requests. Yes, a denial of service attack, another version of it, which is known as DDoS or distributed denial of service attack, is also an attack on a system's resources, but this time this attack is launched from a number of machines, a number of computers that are infected by malicious software controlled by the attacker. So while the attack is coming from just one computer on a DOS or denial of service, on a DDoS or distributed denial of service, the attack is coming from multiple computers. And the objective of the attacker is to take that device, the victim, offline, whereby the legitimate or genuine users of that company, when they need to make use of that device, maybe you have an email server that is located in the DMZ, which controls the in and out of mails, sending and receiving of mails in that organization, and an attacker has launched a successful denial of service attack against that email server, and he has successfully taken that email server offline. It simply means that when the MD of the company or any other user in that company want to send a mail or receive a mail, he won't be able to. Why? Because the device that should have handled that request is nowhere to be found. It has been taken offline. by an attacker or a hacker. That's exactly an example of a denial of service attack. Now, there are still 9 more out of these 10 most common types of attacks. We're just taking number 1, which is denial of service attack. But before we look at number 2, 3, 4, all the way to 10, we want to take a demo to see how we can actually effect a denial of service attack. Well, we are going to be performing a denial of service attack on a wireless network. Here already I have a Kali Linux machine that is functional and is ready to go for this demo. I'm actually using Kali Linux 2019.1 on a VirtualBox. So I'm just going to enter a password to the machine, and the Kali Linux machine launches. Of course, I'm already running a scan, okay, whereby I want to get to know all the different wireless networks in my area. So you can see I have quite a lot of wireless networks around. We have FBI secured, we have Every, we have quite a lot of them, Iola, TechnoSpark 4A, we have Spectranet LTE 5E, TechnoSpark 3, and what have you. And we have to maintain the ethical hacking and penetration testing best practice, which means we can only attack networks that we have permission to attack. Of course, my own here is this FBI secured. So this is the one we are going to attack, and we are going to disconnect a particular laptop that is already connected to this Wi-Fi. In fact, I have a couple of systems here with me. One is currently downloading from the internet, and the other one is just sitting idle. So the one sitting idle, we are going to attack it. We are going to take it out of the network. We are going to deny it access to internet. Okay. So I'm going to stop this attack, because if you allow it, it should just keep on running for like forever. So I'm going to do Control-C to stop it. By the way, to launch it, you just need to do dump ng followed by your wireless network adapter that is connected to your Kali machine. So I'm using Alpha network adapter, and it's using a USB port to connect to the laptop that is hosting my Kali Linux machine. Okay, so the name that this adapter is seen as on the Kali machine is WLAN0mon. Okay, that's actually the command that I launched earlier, and I was able to see all the networks around me. Okay, so you notice that here is the networks that are around. This actually is the under SSID, that is the MAC address of your wireless device. Maybe you're using Spectranet or Swift or whatever wireless device, maybe your phone hotspots. The MAC address of your phone is going to show here under SSID. Okay, so now if you come down a bit, you are going to see station here, and under this station is where you get to see different users or devices that are connected to a particular wireless network. Okay, so we'll have to do a targeted attack now. We'll have to target this particular one, which is my own personal Wi-Fi, which is the one that we are legally allowed to attack because we have permission to that network. So we are going to stop this attack once again using Control-C. And then to do a targeted attack, we are going to do this command. Let me just bring up the notepad. dump ng, that is a tool that comes with a Kali Linux operating system. And we are going to do --BSSID, and we'll enter the BSSID of the network we want to attack. In this case, the BSSID of my own network, FBI secured, is 7A3A6CEE88C7, which I've pasted here. And you have to know which channel your network is operating on. In this case, this one is operating on channel 11. So we have to do --channel 11, and then we need to give this attack a name. So we're going to do --right, then we name it. So I've done this before, and I named it DOS attack. Okay, so let's name it something else that will not conflict with what I've done before. So let's just say DOS2. Okay, and then the wireless adapter that is connected to the Kali Linux machine is called WLAN0mon. Okay, so I'm just going to copy this command and I'm going to paste it on the machine. I'm going to paste it on the machine, copy it and paste it on the machine, and just hit the enter key. And I'm running a targeted attack now against my own wireless. Okay, so you can see that I'm able to now see who and who are connected to my wireless. I only have 2 devices. How would you know how many devices are connected to a particular wireless that you are attacking? Just go to the station, and under the station you will see the MAC addresses of devices that are connected. The moment more devices keep on connecting to this my Wi-Fi, then we'll see more MAC addresses under the station. So the system I'm using to record this tutorial, this is the MAC address 3402.860B5ACC, and the system that I want to disconnect using denial of service is another laptop that is sitting right here beside me, 283A4D4C2F4F. So I'm going to copy the MAC. First off, we won't be able to copy until we stop the attack. Control C to stop, and then we'll copy the MAC address of the victim, so to say. Sorry, he has switched the victim 283A. So we'll copy the victim's MAC. I'll bring up the notepad. This is actually where we execute it. This is the command. So I've already done this before. You see that this is exactly the same as the MAC address of the victim here, and this should be the MAC address of the wireless, maybe your Swift or your SpectraNet or whatever you are using, Smile, whatever the MAC address of that device is, should show here under SSID. So you can see that this device 28 something something of a MAC address and this 34 are all connected to the same network. That's why the SSID is the same. Okay, so before I paste this command, you see we use this tool that is built into Kali Linux, replay-ng, and then we are going to specify -a, which is the access point that we want the user is connected to, and -c, which is the client that is connected to that access point, and then the wireless adapter that we are using for this attack, which is named WLAN0mon. Okay, and we are going to disconnect the user. That is what this DOT meaning de-authentication. And then how many times you are going to disconnect the user? I put 100 million. So I'm going to keep on disconnecting this laptop up to 100 million times, because as the laptop is being disconnected, the laptop in itself will try to reconnect. Okay, so if I do 4 times, if I put 4 here, it means that this attack is going to disconnect this laptop from this Wi-Fi 4 times. But after that 4 times, the laptop will reconnect. So I don't want this laptop to ever reconnect, not today. Okay, so you can put as how many times as possible that the attack will launch or will stay. I hope you get this command, and I'm just going to copy this command and paste it on the Kali. And the moment I do that, the laptop should be out of the network, should be disconnected from the internet. So just paste and hit the enter key, and the attack has started. So you'll see we are sending a de-authentication attack to a particular system that has this MAC address 2838 something something something. Okay, so that is denial of service attack. Let's say now that I want to go to that laptop. I just brought the laptop up now and I have lost my internet connection. And if I'm to send a mail, check my email, or do anything, browse the internet, I won't be able to. Why? Because I've been denied of a service. So I've been taken out of the network. So my laptop will keep on. You look at the wireless adapter here, it's showing connecting. It's going to have to connect forever. As long as this attack is still ongoing, this laptop will never connect back to this Wi-Fi network. That is a demo of denial of service attack. So we have seen how we can actually affect it on a wireless network, and we have also seen the impact, because the affected device will be taken out of the network. We won't be able to do anything again on that network. So I hope you have benefited a lot from this introductory video. Then in my next video, we are going to walk through the second to the 10th most common types of attack. We just look at the first most common types of attack and a demo of it, which is denial of service attack. I hope you have benefited from this video. See you in my next video.